Do you do an intro or anything like that?
No, man. I found that like over time, just getting into having a conversation is normally what I found's better.
It's the better way to do it, just organic.
Yeah, man. I relate to that feeling so much as well now, but I think for me it took so much longer to find that little obsession. You know that feeling where you're like, you grabbed his neck and you're like, oh God, I'm obsessed with this thing now. That's exactly how I felt when I did the stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
But I'm 31, so I found it 10 years later.
You're 31.
Yeah.
You're doing very well for a 31-year-old, bro. I thought you were like 26, 27. I thought you were a bit older than me, but like not 31.
Thanks, bro. It's the olive complexion.
It is.
Yeah.
The clean skin.
So where were you, where did you train when you did this first guillotine?
So Good Life used to have like an affiliation with Southside Jiu-Jitsu. I don't know if anyone knows about that. But yeah, basically my first coach, Diego Queiroz, he used to train at the back of Good Life Bundle in Bundle, obviously. So they had this full matted out area for jiu-jitsu. They did MMA, like there was a cage and stuff there, but I don't know what their classes were like before I got there. I got there in like 2021 or the end of 2020, and I started training with him. I started doing jiu-jitsu there because it was just because I worked at Good Life. It was part of my...
What were you doing for work there?
I was in sales at Good Life Rabina.
Right, so you're just like conventional gym lifting, doing bench press sort of stuff?
Yeah, the bro split.
Yeah.
I was doing that and I was running.
Trying to look jacked.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, just trying to look like athletic.
Yeah.
Really, that was my big thing. I was doing lots of...
Did you love training at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I loved training, but I did it with no direction.
Right.
My favourite session of the week would be my mate, Sam Irvine. We'd go to one of each other's houses and we'd spar. But like I said,
what made you guys start sparring each other like that?
I think we got into the UFC when we were in school.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all keen.
So you watched it, you're like, oh, let's try this.
100%.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it was just like...
And there's no alcohol involved. This is just you and...
the first time there was definitely alcohol involved. We were at like...
We've all done that, eh?
Yeah, 100%.
The lads get together like, let's put some mitts on.
Yeah, exactly that. That was the first one.
Uh-huh.
But we were so stupid. Like, one of my mates broke his hand, punching Sam in the face. Like, he overhanded him like twice and just shattered his hand.
So you guys have gone hard.
Oh yeah, no. We were trying to kill each other. We had no idea. Like, we just absolutely falling over each other.
Wow.
Like Neanderthals just swinging at trees.
Right. So you watch UFC, then your boys are punching on in the backyard, but you're not obsessed with it at that point.
No.
Right.
No, I'm not. At this point, I'm like, oh, it's a cool thing. I'll probably get into it to learn self-defense or whatever, that sort of thing. Just to I know a lot of people who think they know how to fight. They feel like they're invincible in the world. Like, they'll just walk through life being like, oh, there's never going to be a problem because I can just smash anyone. Even if they don't know that for a fact because they haven't tried, but they just have that belief because they've trained or whatever. I wasn't going to be one of those people, but I was like, well, if people are delusional enough to be like that, it'd be cool to have this set of skills just to feel more confident in my life.
100%.
Yeah. So that was why we did that. And I did it with a friend. We just were like, yeah, let's just, punch on. We're knowing full well that if we do hurt each other or anything like that, we're not going to, keep going.
Yep.
No one's trying to actually hurt each other.
Not actually killing one another.
Yeah. To be fair, I did.
You actually nearly did.
I knocked him out once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that was like, we kind of drew the line at that point. We were like, let's stop. Because I'd started training at this point and he kept wanting to spar with me.
Right.
And
do you reckon that's the first point that you actually realised that you had like real big power in your hands as well?
So this was a kick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. I like spinning shit. When I was younger and I was training by myself.
Yeah.
I watched lots of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Okay.
Lots of Connor, obviously.
Right. You did a spinning kick and knocked your mate out.
It wasn't a spinning wheel kick. It was meant to be a spinning, like a turning.
And you have no MMA experience?
At this point, no.
Wow.
I'd just gone to CMBT
Right.
at this point. I'd
Okay.
just gone there to start training, but it was all intuitive. Like, I took the initiative to watch the videos and go,
Yeah.
that's how you do that. Do it on a heavy bag 1,000 times and then be like, cool, I've got this, I think. And as we were doing it, I went to throw it to his body, like a turning push kick. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen it's like,
Yep.
it was meant to be to his body, but he's dipped down. And I didn't even realize I'd hit him. Like, I felt something and I was like, oh, I've hit his elbow. And then I turned around and he was just on the floor and I was like, what are you doing, bro? And he was like,
Damn.
like glazed over, and I was
How
like,
long did it take him to come to?
Quite a while.
Wow.
Like,
did you feel scared in that moment or sick or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, horrible.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling, hey.
But it took me a bit to figure out what I'd actually done because we filmed it. We were filming it.
Wow.
We were filming it, and I didn't know what happened. I was
Come on,
like,
you guys are like backyard brawlers.
this was in the cage at Good Life Bundle.
Oh,
We'd figured, this is
wow.
Yeah, we'd gone there and done that because we thought, it's more of a controlled environment at this point. And yeah, I like looked back on the video and I was like,
Oh no.
oh my God, I've
Yeah.
just, So then we sat there for a bit and we spoke, and he can't recall any of the conversation. Like, someone else came over, he had kind of a semi chat with them. I think it was like half an hour later. He was like, "Okay, I think I'm here now. What happened this afternoon?"
Wow.
And yeah,
Damn.
that
After that, was that when you're like, all right, I'm going to start taking this more seriously, or what was the road after? So you've gone, all right, I'm watching UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try this in the backyard. Now let's try this in the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like at any point thinking that you're going to start taking it seriously?
So I think the progression of things went from let's try it in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start learning jiu-jitsu. Once I did the jiu-jitsu, I had this like sick guillotine choke on this dude, and I remember just being like, when I got that and I felt how like,
because
how
jiu-jitsu is
squirmish
a bit of like, it almost feels like magic in a way. Like the striking also feels cool, but you're like, it almost feels like the dark arts or something. Like you do it and you're like, oh, this is like, I can't believe that this is possible.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because anyone can knock someone out, but it takes patience, skill, and like full body awareness to put like a good choke on someone, especially guillotines. You don't see them land particularly often.
No.
Like in the UFC, they're like, I don't know, every time I watch a fight and I see someone jump a guillotine, I'm like, what are you doing? You've just sacrificed position for something that's probably not going to go off. Like, you got to be so good at them, and you got to be perfect with where you are. Like, look at like Volk with Brian Ortega. Like, the thing was on, but Volk was just like
Chilling.
not happening, dude.
Chilling.
It definitely wasn't chilling, but he
But
was like,
yeah.
he was like, no.
I love the clip of him with Islam where he's sitting there and he's like G'ing up the crowd as he's got his back.
Yeah, nah, 100%. Different animal altogether.
Yeah, completely. So you got the choke. What happened? Like, what happened after that? I'm so curious to hear about the little obsession that kicked in, because it's clear. Like, dude, you straight away you talk about mixed martial arts with such passion. You're like, all right, you're switched on. So you got that, and you were what, 21?
Yeah, it would have been 21, late 21.
So talk us through that. So you got that, and then you got that little obsession, and then where did you go from there? Where did that obsession take you?
So at the time, this is like directly post-COVID, and I was working for Good Life Rabina at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the submission. I then told myself, well, I've got a full-time job. I'll work and I'll train because I can afford it now. Back in the day, I don't know. I think deep down I always wanted to.
Yeah.
But I kind of lied to myself.
Yeah. What do you think that was? Like a bit of fear, maybe?
Not even. I think it was fear of disappointing my mum.
That you're gonna go pursue this like crazy thing one, she's got to watch. Two, it's like, fucking, I don't know if it's going to work out. It's like, mum obviously wants you to get a secure job.
Bro, mum wanted me to be a musical theatre performer.
Wow.
A musical theatre performer and a lawyer.
Wow.
Those were her, like, two big things
Yeah,
for
you
me.
fucked that up.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Steered as far away as I could.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
I'd definitely go back to musical theatre. I was a little, singer, dancer, actor when I was younger. That's like, I did love that.
Yep.
But I'm just so competitive.
Yeah.
I'm just so competitive. I've just always had that in me, and I always wanted to do. When I was younger, I was like, put me in boxing. They didn't want to do that. They were just because I have ADHD.
Oh, so your parents were like, no boxing.
Well, I think Dad was kind of like, I think he'd be good at it, and Mum was like, no, he's got ADHD. He's already running around like a crazy kid. Well, now we're going to give him the ability to knock other kids out. Not happening. Not happening. He can play soccer. Hated soccer.
Oh man, me too. Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Unless you're. No, even if you like soccer, you suck. Even if you're good at it.
So that's the musical theatre. So did you ever, like, you performed in front of like lots of people and stuff like that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's high school.
Yep.
Okay.
All through high school.
So you're acting, playing parts, sort of like dancing sort of stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So do you find that helped with like getting on the stage for the with the MMA?
100%.
Being in front of
100%.
crowds?
Yeah. It's a performance.
Yeah.
Like, fighting is a performance. The last 3 fights I've been like, I hate them because they didn't feel like I performed.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I got to perform to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that. Let's go back to your story because I'm so curious.
Yeah, sorry, I go everywhere all the time.
No, that's all right. I'm also itching to talk about the fight too because, man, after I watched it, I was like, I want to talk to this dude.
Yeah.
So you got the little obsession and you had that doubt. Your mum didn't really want you to do it. How fast from the guillotine choke, first time doing jiu-jitsu, to you actually deciding that you're actually going to go all in on this crazy pursuit of mixed martial arts?
Like, straight away.
Really?
Literally that day.
That fast?
That day. That same week, I told all of my friends, I was like, I'm going to fight.
Wow.
I'm going to fight. Yeah. It had always been everyone's always like, dude, you put so much time into this, like... You know, you're hitting the bag all the time. You're watching all these videos. You're training jiu-jitsu. What's the go? Like,
what are you doing,
why,
bro?
Like, why? You don't need...
Yeah, why are you doing this?
Just keep lifting weights and just be a normal person.
Yeah, why are you being weird, dude?
Exactly. That's it. And I was like, well, I don't know. But yeah, the second I hit that guillotine, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this in front of everyone.
Wow. That's cool. And it's hard too, right? Because everybody looks at you like you're strange for saying that. And you're like, you almost have to just be so arrogant in yourself and your belief to just go, they're all idiots. I'm going to do this thing.
Facts.
Yeah. And did you find like your friend circle sort of changed a little bit throughout that period?
Not really.
Not really? You just stuck it to them.
Bro, but they didn't even think I was crazy.
Oh.
My mates were like, yes! They were like, finally!
Do it,
dude.
Good.
This is
That's awesome, bro.
I think they were very like, they were all, because all my mates from high school, I think they were all just like waiting.
Are they the same friends that would have seen you perform?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So they've already seen you do something that is going against the grain to the norm of, the secure job. And so they maybe do some different sort of stuff as well? Yeah,
one is a pilot.
Awesome.
One's a site manager. One works, he's studying but currently works as like he cleans equipment for surgery in a hospital. Like once the surgery's been completed. One is he works for the Defence Force in Canberra. He's Sam Irvine. He's the one that
you
knocked out. Yeah.
Shout out to Sam.
He's my bestie. He was the one.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for lending us your jaw for an afternoon.
After the first win, had to dedicate that one to Sam.
Thanks to letting us knock you out, bro.
Yeah, exactly. He's every time he's like, I took too much. I think he was stoked when I finally said I was going to fight.
Cool.
He was like, I've taken too much damage for this not to have ended up being something.
He sacrificed for this for sure.
Yeah.
But that's cool, man. I think that that's so important, and having that friend circle's probably helped you out dramatically. Because sometimes it goes the opposite way. Is that you decide that you want to do something, and maybe your friends start to pull that ambition back if it's different to what they are doing, or maybe what they believe is possible. But that's cool. I like how you said straight away you decided that you're going to do it, and then where'd you go from there? Did you go sign up to an MMA gym? You started, like, how long until then to your first actual fight?
I think at this point I'd already signed up to CMBT with the idea of training, because I saw Darcy Vendy. He's probably like he's not probably he's the best middleweight in Australia besides Ben Johnston. He's the owner and head coach of TFC, the current eternal middleweight champion. Darcy, I saw, had wrestled Rob Whittaker, and I saw that he beat Rob Whittaker in wrestling.
Wow.
And he was training at CMBT. So I went, okay, I'm going to go there and learn from this dude.
You just like the best.
Yeah.
Put me there.
Oh, 100%. I saw it and I was like, and I don't know, I just knew, I could just tell from what I saw of him and the first session I had with him, because I went in there for a wrestling session, I was like, okay, I'm in the right hands here if I do want to do this. Still wasn't set at this time because I'm training jiu-jitsu at the other place and MMA here. But yeah, once got the choke, I came in and I was like, I'm going to fight. And I started like sort of telling people in the gym, I was like, I'm going to fight at CMBT this is. And within a couple of weeks, I got offered a fight, took it against...
So only a couple of weeks?
Well, I'd been there for a few months.
Okay.
I'd been there for
It's
a few months.
Still a short period of time.
And, bro, I don't like to talk bad, but you don't really...
Too early for you to be fighting.
Bro, 100%. Yeah. They were like, oh, this guy's an athlete, and he's so fit, because I'd been running and stuff, and they're like, he just outworks people. My style was completely different. Like, call it a style. I was jumping around doing karate. Like, I was like, yeah, sick, bro. I'm so agile. I am Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, but I'm built like someone completely different.
Yeah.
You got to like match your style to your body type.
How'd that first fight go?
Terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even that, like that to me was, it was horrendous. I just went
So what
there.
happened after that? So you went terribly. This fight went so bad. What was your self-talk like after that?
I got a text from Darcy the day after the fight, and he said, "How's the body? Like, how's your body feeling?" And I was like, "Oh, I mean, got a swollen jaw because I borderline got knocked out, but I'm like, I don't have any, I didn't tear anything in my legs or my arms. I'm all good." And he was like, "All right, cool. You back in the gym Monday?" And I was like, "Yes." If I'm gonna be like, he just made the effort to be like,
reached out.
I think he like saved me from, again. I wouldn't have been fighting if he'd not done that, because it probably would have just gone the same way. I probably would have gone.
What like the head noise? Like you were sitting with it and
I had it in me. I was like, I'm gonna fight again and I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
But it probably wouldn't have gone well. I probably would have gone in there the same way with no skills, no game plan, just the fact that they thought I would naturally just get it. They just like kind of tossed me in. And if I'd lost again, I think I probably would have sort of called it. I would have gone, no, that's not it.
Really?
But I think Darcy saw that. I think he was like, this dude puts in way too much work and is way too dedicated for this to be the result.
Yeah.
So he like extended that to me and was like, be part of the team, like me and you and a couple of other guys, like we'll get you a really solid skill set and we'll get you a good fight and we'll actually like try to progress you in this thing instead of just tossing you in there for a scrap.
Wow. Dude. Bit of synchronicity there, like it was like a coincidence.
Exactly. But that's, my headspace was always, I'm going to compete again.
But so you're on a 6-win streak at the moment. That's not a part of that 6, is it? So that's like a completely different competition altogether.
Correct. Lost. What do you mean completely different competition?
Well, so you had a fight that wasn't eternal when you lost.
Correct. Yes. Had one fight on a promotion called Coastal Combat.
Yep.
Yeah, against someone with way more experience. Had been training since they were like 12. He's a good guy. He's a sick guy. But he just had the answers, and I just didn't.
Right.
And that's just how that went. Whatever. But yeah, had that one. Worst thing ever. Every fight since then, I've been training with Darcy and working under him.
So
and
Darcy's your current coach?
He's not my coach. He was. Like at that point he was kind of my coach. Now he's just like my best mate who gives me tips and tricks.
Right. So maybe like plays a bit of a mentor role in your life a little bit?
100%.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes both ways because he was always a bit socially odd and like shy, like kept himself out of the limelight.
Limelight, yeah.
But yeah, so he skill progression with me, life progression with him. Just like it's literally like a partnership.
It's cool.
I'm not sure if you saw the post-fight interview. I was like, I'm dedicating this to my heterosexual life partner.
Oh no!
My boyfriend. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, it's good, man. As soon as they gave you the mic too, it seemed like you were fitting into that role quite fast as well. Because that's hard too. Like you watch someone fight really well, and then you watch them talk, and you're like, damn. You're like, he's spewing. I was like, I like this guy fight. I wish I liked him more.
Yeah, I wish he had a personality or could like verbalize anything.
I guess maybe your performing background helps with that a little bit too, because once the light's on you, you're like, oh, okay, I'm still gonna just be me.
Yeah. I'm a little attention whore. Like that's I love it. Like I love to be admired. That's why I love competing. I love winning. I love being that person
in the spotlight there.
Yeah,
it's quite a thrill. Hey, it's sort of like a huge dopamine hit.
Yeah,
massive.
100%. There's nothing better. Not that I've tried anyway.
Yeah. Man, all right. So when you were the main event so this is when I watched you fight. I watched your last 2 fights. Man, when you threw that left hook. Oh my God, dude. I was like, I've heard Dana White say this once and he's like, I sell holy shit moments. I remember sitting there and like it was like towards the end of the night, I was like a little bit tired for the week, whatever, watching you fight. And then you threw that hook and I just had this huge dopamine hit. I don't know if there's a video of it, but I wish there was. The whole entire crowd was on their feet, like instantly in a split second. You smack this guy, bang, straight down. The whole crowd lifts. And then I think you went for a choke. Then you changed your mind, finished with the ground and pound. Fucking, how did that feel? Because for me, like I'm hyped up just talking about it.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest with you. That left hook is like one of the shots I throw all the time. I've actually it's kind of an instinctual one. I can tell when someone I don't know. It's when someone will throw a 2 and you slip out. So it's like a lead overhand. It's like a lead overhand. So I have had a lot of success with it because I'm like lower to the ground. I'm a bit of a stocky dude. I actually dropped someone with that in another fight against like Daniel Matheson, and I remember dropping him and seeing it and just like freezing. Like I saw him and I was like, I don't drop people. I wrestle. It was a weird thing, and like I saw, and I remember telling myself that moment. I was like, after that fight, I was like, if that ever happens again, I'm going for it. I actually blacked out. I kind of blacked out for a sec because I hit him with a right hand. My corner was yelling, "Throw the 2, throw the 2," which is like 1-2.
Yeah.
Throw the 2, throw the 2. I threw the 2. That's what rocked him. He was like, I hit him with that, and I thought I dropped him with it. I literally forgot that I threw the left hook. It went gone, and I just saw him on the floor. It literally hit him with the 2. He was on the floor. So when I saw it back,
so you were shell shocked.
Yeah, when everyone was like, "Oh, that left hook," I was like,
"Oh, it's the right hand."
I was like, "How did it look like a left hook?" And then I watched the footage back, and I was like, "Okay, well, Maybe I do have CTE, but no, like
So you hit him and you see him wobble and he's out, and then you were the left. Is that how you felt it went?
He's hit the ground after I threw the two.
Right.
I threw the two, he's on the ground. That's how it went. Not I threw the two, little exchange, left hook.
Yeah,
which is
right.
exactly how it went. And I remember jumping on him. I remember jumping on him when he was down. I went, oh, let's go. And I put my arm around his neck, and I literally had the conversation in my head straight away. I was like, not happening. Get up, fed the overhook, and like threw the Uchimata, which is like the hip toss.
Yep.
But I didn't fully commit to it because I didn't want him to grab. He felt limp, but he could have grabbed me and pulled me into like half guard.
You didn't feel like you had that position strong enough. No.
Well, it was just I don't want to end up in half guard. I want to end up in a position where I'm over the top of you and I can just punch you in the face.
Yes.
So I've like done it, not fully committed to it, felt him limp, just sort of fall over the front of me, and I was like, oh, I'm either going to knock him out standing here or he's just going to fall over. He just fell over. Like I basically just tripped him.
It's a way better finish.
Yeah, and then I just saw him on the ground, and I was like, he was right in front of my corner, and I can see them screaming, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, it was a weird feeling because obviously I don't train like that. Like when you spar people and you have like I don't rock anyone in sparring. I don't do that. I spar very controlled. I don't like to hit. Like I'll definitely go intense. Definitely like to keep.
It's
the
not
pace
healthy
high.
to do the intense sparring. Hey.
Well, it's not even. It's just like. Yeah, they're your sparring partners.
I know.
They're there for you.
Yeah.
We're all trying to get better. I'm very like it's not a team sport, but it takes a team. So you got to look after your team.
For sure.
But so in that moment, I see him on the ground. I can see my corner and I was like, if there wasn't a ref in there, I would have
killed him.
Oh, dude, it's such a weird thing to say, but that's how it felt.
Yeah.
In the moment, I was like.
You can't really have any other thought besides that, though. You can't be like, oh, I hope that he gets up.
Yeah, and and afterwards I was.
Yeah, what a weird bunch of emotions right there. Hey, it's like, and then you're like, all right, I've got to be a killer right now, and then all right.
But it felt like the only way I can describe it is like I'm doing this. I'm hunting for the family. Like I'm gonna bring this. Like I'm bringing this. I got to bring this food back for my team, for my coaches, for like that's why it was such an emotional thing when the ref pulled me off. I was like, oh, I've done it. I fed the it was feels weird to like even think about to talk
reliving
about it.
Yeah.
But
what a strange thing you do for a living, bro.
Incredibly.
Wow. And then after that, what's the high like after the ref calls the win, you're screaming, jumping all over the cage, and just like, how do you sleep that night?
Like a baby. It was, like, and I'm not a big partier. I'm not a big partier. Like, did the job. I'm sitting there. I'm seeing all my friends, all my teammates.
Wow.
And I'm just like. Oh, I knew it. I knew I could do for so long. I knew I could hit hard, but I just had never like really gotten in there. And that third round, I was like, nah, it's me or you, bro, and you're getting it. So I just charged at him and got him. And that's the flow of emotion. It was just, I'm so proud that I could create that moment for all of my friends and supporters and all that.
Dude, I think you created a whole bunch of fans from that moment too. Like, I'll be honest, like I watched the fight beforehand, but after I saw that, I was like, instantly, I'm a fan. Like, bro, I'm like, I want to watch all these guys' fights. I'm completely invested. And UFC's such a funny sport like that. I can watch it, but there's particular fighters where I feel like you feel that connection where you're like Tai Tuivasa do. When I watch him lose, I'm dead set sad because I'm like, he puts on such a performance. I've watched so many of his good fights. I'm so sad that his career is going how it is, but I still love watching him fight.
Yeah, bro, it's the emotional investment. I've said to anyone, I was like, you can watch a fight if you know nothing about either of them. You're watching the fight and you're like, I hope someone gets flatlined. That'll be sick.
That's right. That's how it feels.
You can speak to someone for 2 minutes. You could speak to the receptionist at Good Life. Say you're speaking to the receptionist at Good Life. You speak to them for 2 minutes, they help you get a new access card or something. Then you see them fight, you are so invested in them.
So true.
You don't want anything bad to happen to that person because you know they're a person. When it's two people you don't know, they're not people. They're animals. They're not even animals. They're beings. It's like fish. It's like goldfish. One's going to eat the other. I don't care. I don't know either of them. They're not my fish.
You're so right. It's that emotional connection to like watching someone get hurt. It's like as soon as you know them, you're like, I don't want this person to get hurt.
Exactly, because they're a person. You know that they've got people that like them and care about them, and a family, and a partner, and it's part of the human experience. Compassion.
It's true. And you said something like I was listening to your post fight interview, and you were talking about how you knew that you had that ability, but it almost felt like to me, bro, like I was so invested. I've been so invested in this after the fight.
I like it. I appreciate it.
It's like I not related. I could see exactly what you were saying, and I could feel that you felt it as well. You were talking about how you always knew that you had that power. You knew that you had that ability. And what I saw on both interviews is the fight before is frustration. And then, I see it now. And as well, in that second fight, I saw like every time the other guy would slightly get up on you, like he'd land a punch or he'd get a position in the cage, I watched your eyes go like this. You're like, and you're not even, it didn't feel like he was beating you. It felt like you were beating yourself. Like you were like, you could see you're like, I'm way better than this. What am I doing? And then when you threw that punch, it's almost like that all came together in your head. Is that pretty accurate?
Bang on. Bang on. And that's because I kind of felt, I don't know how to explain it. Like the first 2 rounds,
it's like you have a superpower, and it's like you have a superpower, and you're like, I know I have it, I can do it, and you're like, huh, and then nothing happens.
Have you seen, The Incredibles at the end when Dash finally gets to go for a race, and they're like, oh, let's go, no, slow down. Like, that's what I'm doing in my head. I for some reason just didn't believe I could. It's not even I didn't believe. I didn't trust myself to just go out there and go, dude, I'm going to put my hands on you and you're going to go to sleep. I can do this to you in the first round.
Yeah.
I could have. I could have just gone out there and gone, dude, you're kicking my leg, you're chapping around, you're doing.
And that's not arrogant either, because that's how it felt watching the fight. Yeah. It's like, it looks like you were toying with him, but not on purpose.
It's like I was going out there having a.
Which shouldn't be how it looks either. It should look like a really contested battle between 2 people, but it's really like at the end you're sitting there like, I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah, 100%. And that was the first 2 rounds. Like I still honestly felt like I was winning. I was like, I feel like I'm just coasting here. And then at the end of the second, my coach Ben Johnston, he went, bro, I don't know. He's like, I don't know how it looks. They could score 2 for him. They could score 2 for you. I really don't know. I say, let's get him. Like, just go out there and smack him. Go out there and, like, get in his face. Let's try and get a finish. And I did that in my fight prior. I went out there and just, like, tried. I was like, let's go. And I just tried to. But it wasn't the same. This one was like, I'm not having a fight. Go to I'm not. This isn't going to a decision. And you can see my sense of urgency straight away. Like, in the first and second, anytime he, like, pushes me against the cage, I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, we're here.
Your face you just did is exactly what I saw.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'll try to get off this and whatever. It's just intention. I just needed that intention. And I think now moving forward, the fact that I have done that to someone and gone, yep, I know I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. I know I'm capable of destruction. I'm just going to go out there and destroy it. That's like, that's why they, like, when they said afterwards, they were like, oh, what does this mean for your career? Like, where do you want to progress? And I was like, I think, personally, I want to stay amateur for at least 2 more fights. Just to see, not even just to see, just to get that experience. Because once you're pro, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Once you're pro,
there's no point in rushing that.
Exactly. And I feel like,
and it's not that you're not ready for it, but it's such a stereotypical fighter thing to do is, and any field is to try and jump to that next stage instead of progressing through.
Precisely. And I'm just like, I was like, look, I'm going to talk to my team. I'm going to talk to my coaches. I'm going to see what they think. They're the one, like, at the end of the day, it's not my decision. I represent my gym and my coaches. I will do what they think is best for me.
Yeah.
Because they're the people who are getting me where I'm going. So in that, when they asked, I was like, look, I don't know. I'll talk to my coaches, but I'll tell you what, this is a step in the right direction. Like, knowing that I've got that killer instinct.
What did you feel like before that fight? Did you feel like, what was that a really big change, that fight? Because you were the main fight as well.
Total honesty, I had a conversation with Darcy after the Jesse Wynn fight, the one prior, and I was like, if this next one isn't the one, I just know, like, there's better things to do. There's like, I was like, I'm not gonna be the one, like, because I was just questioning everything. I was like, am I the dude who's great in the gym but just can't put it together on the night?
And that does happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That does happen.
Because I know people who are not, they don't perform fantastically in the gym, but then they've got like the most savage fights ever, and they're just beasts.
Yeah.
Like, it goes both ways, and I'm sitting there thinking, am I too caught up in the idea of like having this like perfect performance that I'm not even just remembering that it's a fight?
Bro, that encompasses the fight a little bit.
And that was my big thing. I was like, if I can't just go out there and trust myself to get the job done, I don't want to find out I'm not good enough in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to get flatlined. I don't want to get subbed. I don't want to be, I don't want to be getting choked unconscious. I don't want to be getting dropped. It's just not. I get it. It can happen. It can happen. That's the risk we take, and that's why the sport is so exciting and awesome, because you get to be the one that's like, nah, I'll put myself in there. Let's figure it out. But I said to Darcy, I was like, if this next one isn't a performance, like I don't do what I'm supposed to do, and I don't just get, because I saw the guy beforehand, and I was like, there's no reason I shouldn't knock this guy out. There is no reason I shouldn't knock this guy out. So I just had a lot of doubt in my mind. So that last fight was a huge thing for me. It was make or break, and I think that's why it was such an emotional thing at the end.
It's huge, man.
Just running around, I was like, I don't know if you heard the walkout song, "Mountain at My Gates," by Foles.
I don't remember, but
that song was like, that song embodied the whole vibe of that camp and that fight. I was like, it's either now or it's like, I'm either smashing through this or I'm just calling it. There's better things to do than get hit in the head.
Dude, I definitely don't think you should call it. I think that it's crazy, right? Because it's like you can see the immense amount of pressure you're putting on yourself, which is obviously paying off hugely, but it can also have a little bit of a negative effect there, where it's like, if it doesn't work, then it's over. But dude, you can definitely feel there's something there, and it's just like, you feel, just watching you do that, feels like there's so many more gears too. Do you feel that as well?
100%.
Yeah.
That third round is that's the first round of every fight now. Like,
it has to be.
I don't know. You can, you know Bailey personally.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, Bailey Watson, our
Bailey
mutual
Watson,
friend.
BWA sponsor,
number one, DIY.
DIY kits. Yeah,
DIY
coming
kits.
soon.
There you go. He sponsors me. I've got such a wide range of like knowledge, and I know when to do things and how to, like, I look at it very chess-like. Like, if your foot is there, if you're outside here, I know not to throw a leg kick there. You're going to knock me out. I know if you throw a leg kick, I'm going to knock you out. Like, it's I have all this intel, and it feels that's the thing I need to trust. I need to trust myself to just go out there and be like, I'll make the right decision.
Where do you think the disconnect is with that when you do jump into the ring?
I think just I kind of feel like I want to keep things clean and tidy. You know what I mean? I just kind of go,
I see.
this is a fight. I don't want to get hit. Like, this is a fight, but I don't want to get hit. I want it to look so non-competitive that I'll almost like avoid the fight.
So you think like that's like almost a risk take?
Not even a risk take, because I know I can eat a shot. Like, I've got a chin, but it's
no.
just, it's just.
We're playing this funny battle of your confidence, and then
Yeah, it's just that like, the pressure I've been putting on myself is to like paint a masterpiece, but sometimes you just gotta like take one to give one.
Yeah.
And I think that last round just proved that, because old mate, like, we got into a bit of a, like, he jabbed me once, and I literally, like, my head kind of got snapped back.
I seen that one.
Didn't hurt me, but I was like, oh yeah. I remember like eating it and be like, yeah, left, and I threw another left hook like on him at that time, and I was like, yeah, cool, I win this battle. I don't care. If you're gonna hit me, I'm still gonna hit you. I'm not just gonna like, fold. And I think that was a big thing, knowing that I can just go forward. And now having that in my head, I think I'll be far more confident to do the tricky stuff that I am actually capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like before you had the information, now you have like the proof. Facts. Now it's like now what does John do with that proof that he knows that he's capable, he's got the heavy hands, he's got all this information in his head, he's confident. So what is next? When is the next fight?
Still TBD.
Yeah.
I'll have my coaches.
How long in between do you normally go with the fights?
Well, the last one was like 6 weeks. Last week was like 6 weeks, and it just went.
That was quick.
It was very much.
That's faster than normal, right?
When you're in the amateur leagues, people do tend to fight pretty often. But the last one, I think they wanted me. I was actually supposed to fight this weekend.
Really?
But yeah, they didn't have a matchup for me a couple of weeks ago, and I've had a few. I won't go into it, but I've had things that weren't ideal, and Benny, my coach, is like, "Oh, we'll probably just not do that one, eh? Like, I reckon we'll just sit this one out." And I was like, "Okay, well, that's your call."
Yeah. You got to listen to him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you itching, but
I
am.
I am.
I'm itching to watch you fight again. Yeah,
I am, but I'm also so keen because, bro, like no one takes like skill development. Oh, look, there are people who take skill development seriously, but like I am so keen to just be the most like complete person.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't want to go in there and be like, all right, I've just got to rely on like hitting him hard now because I know my left hook lands, or I can get a rear naked. I want to go in there and be like, I can do anything. Whatever presents itself, I'll get it. I'll go for it.
You want to be an all-round fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I've got like, if a stocky wrestler comes at me, I don't have any answers for that.
Yeah.
Like
I can't be that guy either. Hey.
Nah, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to be a mixed martial artist. Like I'm here to be.
That's cool.
The best fighter there is. And I enjoy.
What do you think is your strength there? With if you to look at the whole encompassing of mixed martial arts.
Like what am I good at?
Yeah. What do you think you're best at? Like when you're training and stuff like that, you're like, this is my strong point.
As weird, probably like pressure boxing. Pressure boxing, like just marching people down. But there are other things. I'm really good at in the gym. Like I can set some stuff up really well, but it's a no pressure environment.
Yeah,
that's the annoying. That's the hard part. The second I get in front of everyone and I've got 3 minutes, I also hate 3-minute rounds, so I can't wait to go pro for that. Because I'm a bit of a like, I'm a long term dude. Like,
you want to punch on
endurance. I'll gas people out. I'll just go. I'll just go until they just get tired.
So did you feel tired at any point in that last fight?
No, God no.
God, I love the fucking snappy answer with that. Not even close.
Nah, like obviously, I did I've never felt tired in a fight except for the Jesse Wynn fight, and I think that was.
Do you think that's your head?
No, there was something. I'd done something. I'm not going to make excuses.
No excuses.
Wasn't ideal on the night. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
But it's still a fight. We also have to fight. We make our deal. You honour that deal.
I love the pressure you put on yourself.
Dude, it's like...
You got to.
Oh, yeah. It's like the same with anything, bro. Like, if you want to be the best at it, you want to be the best version of yourself, you want to be the best man, you got to own up to everything. You got to own it.
But that's hard, dude. How do we do that? Have that honest conversation.
Every decision you make is what puts you where you are. So whenever you try to go, oh, well, that didn't go well for me.
Your fault.
You did that. Regardless, even if it's completely out of your control. Sorry, if you have a car accident.
Yeah, but what's
you have a car accident? You chose to drive this morning.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard conversation because I think also as well it can be super addictive to go blaming external factors, blaming other people, blaming it was the night, it was the other fighter. But at the end of the day, that's not going to get you anywhere.
And that was the big thing after that fight. I said to Darcy, I was like, I feel like the night wasn't ideal. Like everything that happened beforehand just wasn't great. Something had happened to me that morning as well. I'm sitting there like I knew of all these things. In my head I've put all this evidence together that would indicate that I shouldn't have had my best performance that night. But then I catch myself and go, is this me bullshitting myself?
Yeah.
Like, am I just telling myself this so I can
That's such a hard conversation too because it can be fear and it disguises itself as rational thinking.
Yeah. Like, am I sugarcoating this for myself?
Yeah.
So I can lie to myself to then go do it again. And what if it happens again?
Which you could have done.
Exactly. Like, what
happened?
What if it happens again? Am I just going to tell myself that it wasn't ideal again? I'm just going to say, oh, this.
And keep doing that.
And just, yeah, exactly. You get addicted to it. It just becomes the trend. It's like, oh, well, bro, nothing's ever my fault, really. Like, I put in all the work. But all these other things outside of it, I just wasn't going to do that.
No.
And that's why the conversation was.
Those things become so real in your head, though, man. Jeez.
But that was the thing. I was like, well, if it doesn't go well this time, and I said, we're doing this perfect. We're doing this whole prep perfect.
Yeah.
We're doing everything we're supposed to for this dude. Like, I want this. I want to go in there knowing full well of everything he's going to do. So when the first 2 rounds are going like that, I was like, it's happening again. You're just letting this go.
I could see that.
You just
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, I watched that second round and I was like, damn. I was like, I want to support this dude, but I just feel like he's sitting in second gear and he's not getting out of it. Like, why is he not getting out of it? And then you got out of it and I was like, holy, I was like, yes.
And that for me, knowing I could do that as well, that was like crazy what you can do when you just back yourself.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I think also too, it's almost like you have to be overly arrogant in your own head, and then the evidence catches up with that arrogance.
100%. I heard you and Bailey on the podcast that you guys had.
Yeah,
I was like, you've got to have some level of delusion.
You have to have an extremely high level of delusion.
Yeah,
especially with what you're doing, because it's sort of like that. You ever watched the movie Gladiator? Yes,
like years ago. I know it's sick.
Best movie, right? And Russell Crowe went. Obviously, he's not actually a gladiator, but he just does this thing. His character Maximus, he grabs like the dirt and he sits there, and he almost has like this meditative moment right before he goes out and fights. And you can see he like calms himself and he like envisions the win, and then he goes out and obviously kills some people. And you think about that too, and it is so similar to what you do. It's like you're in a cage with another person trying to kill you, so you have to have the belief of yourself through the roof. Otherwise, you could potentially get absolutely flatlined.
Exactly. Exactly. It's exactly that. And that's why, it was, if I don't believe in, like, if I can't just turn that on and go, just believe in yourself, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
That is going to happen. I'm going to get knocked out cold.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to deal with the fact that happened in front of my dad and my sister and my fucking partner. Like, it's all, it's just, that is not something I want to happen. If it happens by chance, like it's never going to happen. But if it does happen by chance, like they outplayed me.
Yeah.
That's just the sport. That is the sport. That's the game. It can happen. But I'm not going to just let it happen.
No. And I think that's what I had on the last podcast, Jeremy Dooley. He used to be a professional MMA fighter when he was about 20. And he said that he had a protocol training partner who would win, beat everybody really easily. But then he took an L and he was never the same.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things with everything we do in life is that it's not how you take the wins, it's how you take that fucking loss. And that's what I'd say with yourself, bro. If you ever do take an L, is that, dude, you definitely have it. That's not going to be a defining moment.
I think in a weird way, not even a weird way, it is 100%. It was a blessing that I lost the first one.
Yes.
Because I straight away the next day I was like, this is the worst feeling ever. I hate it.
Yes.
I remember the moment standing up after I got, because he rear naked choked me. He dropped me, like rocked me, and like I fell back, and yeah, he jumped on top of me.
Was your family and stuff watching this fight?
This is exactly what I'm about to say.
Oh, true.
I remember standing up, getting off the cage, like because he subbed me with, he was on my back and I was against the cage, so he was there, and they got off me, and I remember turning around, looking over, like just outside the cage, because my dad was front row, and he's like bawling his eyes out. And he's like, I fucking love you, mate. I fucking love you. And he's like putting his hands together for me, and I was like, I'm never feeling this again. This is not. But
especially the old boy too, eh?
Oh yeah, he's my best mate. He's my big but like just seeing that, I was like, I can deal with this, but I'm never putting my family through. Like, I'm never putting him through that. I'm never putting my sister through that. Never putting my partner through that.
Oh,
I'm not having
much going on.
Yeah, and my partner wasn't there. I told her not to come.
Yeah,
for that one. She's come to everyone since.
Yeah,
but that's because I've been so confident I was gonna win it.
Yeah,
that one was just like
that'd be an emotional roller coaster for her.
Oh yeah,
God,
I'm pretty sure she's got to get pissed whenever she goes.
It does help with the nerves.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. But she's always screaming. She's like, "Come on, John!
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
get him!" Like it's.
How does she feel about this pursuit that you have?
She's incredibly supportive. Very lucky to have someone. Like her.
That's so important, right?
Yeah. She, obviously, there's times it's trialing because I'll be like, I'm not going to be home till 8 o'clock because I've got to do strength and conditioning after my training today, then work, and then got to fit it in somewhere for it all to make sense, or like just little things like that. I've got to leave early in the morning. I didn't see her this morning, and that like.
Do you guys live together?
Yeah, we have a house together. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but compound interest. You miss little times with each other. And you don't get to go on date nights. You don't get to have that meal with her. And you don't get to go on this trip, She's a high school teacher. So she gets...
Really?
She gets...
What school?
Pimpama High.
Oh, okay.
I think that's fine. That's fine. I think that, most of her kids know about me anyway.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, she gets school holidays. She'll just get 2 weeks off. I don't get 2 weeks off.
Yeah, you don't.
I was actually talking to Darcy about this yesterday. I was like, my mum was saying, I'd love for us to all go on this trip. Like, we should all go on we could do 10 days out here, blah, blah. And I was like, when you get some time off. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, time off? You're talking about an injury. That'd be the only thing that would, like... And even then, I've still got bills to pay. I've still got to... it's
a big commitment.
Yeah, exactly. You got to throw yourself into this. But the way I look at it is like, I'm gonna create a beautiful life for both of us. Like that's what I want for me and my partner. Obviously, that's the idea. The idea is I'm gonna dedicate myself now. It's sacrifice what you want now for what you want most.
I love that, man.
Guys, listen to the Bailey Watson podcast.
It's good.
Yeah.
So, when you met your partner, did you have these crazy pursuits then? Or did she meet you before that?
So, yeah, this is kind of like, we've been together for 9 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations. 9 years.
I appreciate it.
What's the secret?
Oh.
I'm here single.
Really?
Single struggling, yeah.
True. I don't know, bro. I think you just got to find your one. Like, she's just a great girl. She's perfect.
So, yeah. Did you just know that Yeah, this is it's such a crazy conversation, the partner and the dating thing, because it's like there's so much out there in the social media world around dating and different advice, but I feel like there's no advice to just knowing.
I think, as weird as it sounds, like just being outgoing and an introvert, like you'll either
Yourself.
Yeah. Like for me, she's quite introvert. She's very, she keeps to herself. When I met her, I was just like, oh, you're like the yin to my yang. Like and I think she felt the same way. She was like, oh, you're just this full of life, energetic, confident, happy guy. Like, I like being around you because you remind me of, what I would like to be. And like in her, I'm like, you're so organized and caring, and you're very thoughtful. Like, she thinks about things. I'm so like, what's happening right today? Well, it'll get me to tomorrow, and then too far. That like
she brings you back down to earth. With that.
She's got the. Remember, in like 2 weeks, we've got to do this to make sure you can do that. She's just got a lot of. I think that's it. You find qualities that you want for yourself, but based on your personality, you probably won't ever really get. Obviously, you'll try over
like
time.
a true teammate.
Yeah,
like that. The downsides of you, she helps, and then the downsides of her, you help.
Exactly.
And then you come together to create this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the secret. Like, it's not really a secret. Like, it's gonna be work. You gotta be okay with the fact that you're gonna argue sometimes, but I think communication is a big thing. Like, when we have issues, they don't last more than like 20 minutes. We'll have the issue, and then straight away it'll be like, no matter how you feel, you just gotta like tell you like, oh, all right, I didn't like that, and I apologize for the way I reacted. This is what I felt. This is why I did it, and this is that. Can you understand that? Yes, I can understand that. But do you understand how this blah 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 blah? And then you just okay. Big misunderstanding, big lot of nothing for something. It's never.
You're not turning making a mountain out of a molehill.
Exactly.
There was this one podcast that I listened to, and they said to try, when you're looking for a partner, you want to try and find someone who can bounce back as fast as possible from an argument. They said anything over, I think it's like 48 hours, it shows that the other person isn't mentally capable of having that relationship, because it's not easy to do as well. Like you feel pissed off, you're stuck in the argument, but you've got to be able to get your head out of that. And your partner's got to be able to get her head out of that too. It's probably exactly the same with like when you're training, you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to train today. But how fast do you bounce out of bed and then get to training? That's going to depict whether you're going to be John that's just knocked this guy out at the Eternal headlining event, at the Eternal event, or you're going to be the guy who just talks about it.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Like, that even just then, when you said 48 hours, I was like, God, I don't think we've ever gone past like.
That's beautiful.
I don't think we've gone past like 90 minutes.
Yeah,
I think, and that's not even on us. It'll be like, it'll happen. And it's like, I've got to go to work. Like, you got to go. Oh, I've got to drop the dog off or something like that. And it's like, that's what separates us and doesn't allow us to just resolve it straight away.
Right.
And we always have that conversation. It's always like, well, even after an argument, and depending on what it is, obviously, it'll be like, we'll both just sit there and just be like,
it's never that big.
No. And then we'll be like, I really like that we can talk about it the way we do,
It's cool, man.
Just diffuses things.
So, and also as well, it's she's probably played such a vital role in everything that you've done up until this point with the mixed martial arts too. If you had a partner who wants to argue for longer than 48 hours, your mental space is not going to be there when you're getting punched in the head.
No, that's 100% what you just said. If you don't have things going right in your social life, your personal life, if you kind of, but I think that's another thing. I always tackle things head on. Like, if I have a problem with someone, so like, I can't just leave it unresolved.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I'll overdo it. Like, I literally had an interaction with Benny, my coach, last week. I said something and I said it in a way that it was misinterpreted. I was like, I felt so like sick in the stomach after. I was like, oh no, I do not want to disrespect you, make you think that I don't like. It's just a weird moment, and it was this moment where I was like proud of myself, and I just expressed it with the wrong wording, and yeah, he took a little bit of offense to it. I was like, what's like, shut up. And I tried so hard to fix it in the moment, but I was leaving, and I was like, tried to, and he was like, no, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. I left. I called him as soon as I got in the car. I was like, I can't leave that the way it was. And he was still like, nah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Don't stress. It's all good. I overreacted, whatever. Ended. An hour later, I needed to send him a paragraph text and be like, just so we're clear, this is what I meant. I don't want any just lingering problems with anything. Any passive tension anywhere is just wasted energy.
100%, because that all turn into an anchor. It'll sort of start to drag you back in everything that you do, your day, your morning, your afternoon, and that'll compile like dirty dishes in a sink.
Exactly. It's just, yeah, and like that was probably overdone. I probably overdid it, knowing what Benny's like. He's pretty chill. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it was what was right that made you feel right with it in your head.
Exactly.
So that you could keep on going with your day and keep progressing.
Yeah, which is borderline selfish, but I think I kind of needed to be. Otherwise, it would have been lingering in the back of my head.
Yeah, but it's also honest, man.
Yeah. Fair.
Selfish but honest. That is genuinely how you feel. And that's what I'm sort of noticing as we have this conversation is you do have this innate ability to keep on being honest with yourself over and over again, which is going to keep paying dividends for you, bro, because the point that you become delusional about yourself is probably when you might start losing yourself in this as well.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
So before you start a fight, what do you? I'm curious to like fight day, fight week. Like, what's your preparation like? How are you feeling on the day of the fight? Do you have a specific routine? Are you trying not to think about the fight? Are the nerves building?
Okay. I know this sounds weird, and people say you're lying because, like, obviously we all, to some extent, get nervous. But I don't really feel nervous.
Right.
I feel anxious. Like I want to get in. Like let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Like
just
excitement?
Not even excitement. It's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's an impatience.
Yeah.
It's an impatience. It's like, let's find out. Let's find out. Let's find out how it goes. Let's find out how it goes. Because I want it. I'm telling myself I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this done in a certain way. Let's do it. I know what I'm looking for. Let's do that. But fight day as it goes, it's typically we do a bit of a morning session. Like we'll hit pads and we'll grapple and kind of like a fight simulator sort of thing. And I personally try to get my heart rate up. Like I like to have a hard session in the morning because you're sluggish after the weight cut. Like when you're pulling all that weight out.
Do you cut much? Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's one of the hardest parts, right? Is that weight cut?
That is usually the battle. That is that's the fight before the fight, as they say. Like, I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, I don't cut heaps, but for a lot of people who I know in the amateur scene, they're like, "Oh, that's a lot." Like that's a lot, you know. But the reality is,
It's such a wild thing watching weight cutting. Like I used to live with Roel Murdoch, who's a professional boxer, and I'd watch him cut. I don't even know how much he would do, but he'd just be so gaunt and like he'd just be drinking water and like he could barely talk like the day of the weigh-in. And then all of a sudden he's like, 5-10 kilos heavier the next day.
That's usually how I go. Like I can rehydrate up to like 14 kilos for the next day.
Really? 14 kilos?
Yeah, that was my biggest rehydration, yeah.
Wow.
But
what did Alex Pereira do? It was like 20 or something, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, he's
crazy.
a big boy.
He's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary, man.
Yeah. He would have such a hard cut as well because he's got such dense bones.
Yeah.
He'd be a heavy boy just in general. Like
massive.
Even if he was just stick thin, he would just be like 100 kilos of bones.
Of dense, scary muscle. What do you think happens if they were talking about him fighting Jon Jones? What do you think would happen in
I think Jon Jones does.
Yeah, me
Jon
too.
Jones would just fold him. It'll look like the Surreal Gun fight. Just cage cut, push him up, Alex would throw something, and John would be like, "Yeah, cool. I'm a giant as well." Grab him, put him down, and sub him.
I hope we see him fight John Jones.
I think he's going to. He's scheduled for Stipe, isn't he?
I'm not sure. I did hear something that he was injured. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I definitely want to watch him fight.
All the MMA content that I consume, Dana White is adamant that he's fighting Stipe this year.
Perfect.
So, yeah, kind of a terrible fight, but I reckon it'll be garbage. But
yeah, right. What do you think that he'll just smoke him?
Stipe's an old boy. I don't know what he looks like now, but he's coming off like 4 years layoff after getting flatlined by Francis.
Yeah, why is that fight being made then?
I don't know. It's like a
keep him warm, maybe.
I think it's a Dana just likes the idea of it being a legend fight, and he wants to there's two big names. It's two big names. The way it works is everyone's complaining that John should fight like Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall would win handily.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's a great fighter.
Bro, John's never fought someone who is good, big and good.
Right. That's cool.
I always thought Anthony Rumble Johnson would have done him, and I also think Francis would do him.
Really? You think Francis wins that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, how do you think that goes?
I think Francis knocks him out. I think I think the person to beat John Jones is someone who will
punch.
Just go. Do third round John. Just go, nah, I'm going to get you. Because he doesn't hit incredibly hard. He's not known as a perfect sniper and stuff. He's literally just always grabbed smaller people
and manhandled them.
And just been like, no. Boom, I'm going to blow your knee out. Boom, boom, I'm going to crack you with an elbow. I'm going to poke you in the eye. That's always been his strategy. He has made it. Look, no disrespect. He's done incredibly well.
He's the GOAT.
He's made a career of beating up smaller people. Any time he fought someone who had relative size to him, Alexander Gustafsson the first time, could have gone to Alex. Dominic Reyes definitely lost that fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Yeah, he fought Thiago Santos before that. I actually thought Thiago won that as well. He had no knees, and Thiago was still a middleweight. He just always had the right opponent.
Yeah, okay.
It's I don't know. It's just that's my opinion. I think if he fought someone like Tom Aspinall, I reckon Tommy runs through him. He's a big athletic boy.
He's a big athletic guy.
Exactly.
Man, he's scary.
He's got the speed. He's got the power. He's got the grappling.
Also talks well as well, that Tom Aspinall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite a character.
100%.
Have you thought about that, as you sort of progress through, creating sort of a persona around John? And
well, I don't know. I suppose I feel like I'm already quite an animated person.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't really need to create a persona per se.
No, you already are you.
But I don't really. I should probably, in the future, go about exposing myself a little bit more. Just I don't know, making Instagram.
Doing a podcast.
Yeah, doing a podcast. Exactly. Bro, no one hears me talk like this for long enough time. Unless you know me, you don't know I'm like this.
No.
But yeah, doing more Instagram reels or a YouTube channel.
Yep.
That sort of thing. But as long as it doesn't detract
from your training,
the big picture, yeah.
But I think also it is a huge part of the big picture, because we talked about this on my podcast last week, is that there's the thing that you do, and then there's a business side of the thing that you do. I've been thinking about with comedy is that there's comedians who are killers. Dude, I go to some open mics, I'm like, these guys are absolute some of the best comedians I've ever seen, but don't make any money off of it. Don't promote themselves. They don't have a website. They don't run ads. They don't particularly promote their headliner acts or anything like that. And then they just sort of stay in the same scene that they are in. And I guess maybe then the biggest example of that is Jake Paul and boxing.
Yeah.
Because it's dude, he can box, but he's doing way better than anyone at his skill level in the entire world, just because he has this outward ability to market himself, and you just want to watch.
I 100% agree with what you just said. And believe it or not, all of this, everything I'm doing, is part of a grand plan. Fighting is not the end. It's not just fighting. There's so many other avenues that are going to be pursued. They like obviously I'm still an amateur fighter. Like that's a big thing. I think being pro will be a huge part of that. That will be one of the starting chapters. But bro, like not many people who are amateurs have the amount of like sponsor connections I have.
Yeah, you do have a fair few.
And that's because I'm very willing. Like I look at this as a business as well.
Cool.
I look at like, okay, how can I tie myself to people that will back me and I back them? Like, obviously, Bailey, we've mentioned him a few times, but he is just a very solid person and he makes great decisions for his business.
Yeah.
He's obviously like one of your closest mates. Yeah.
Yep.
It's because I can tell just talking to you, you're both very like-minded. You're both very about the grind and about the, like I said, sacrifice what you want now for what you want most. And I like that. The same with, and I'm also very big on like loyalty. Musashi looked after me from my second fight. I hadn't even had a win. And they were like, yep.
Oh, I seen you post that the other day.
And they were like, we'll just look after you.
So what's the relationship there?
They look after me. They give me a certain amount of like credit every quarter so I can get my supplements. And that's basically that. And they ask for basically nothing. They basically ask for nothing.
That's such a good relationship to be having so early.
Exactly.
Dude,
and
they got like Robert Whitaker. They got Reese Walsh from the Broncos.
Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, dude, they got some, and they're making some big moves at the moment too. Like I seen they got in all the Good Life gyms. They got all the energy drinks they're coming out with now. I'm glad to see them back because they're an Australian-based company, right?
Yes, they are. They were like. Back in the day, they were like the OG brand. Of like, you remember the little, like the Bulldog?
I know.
The Bulldog bar?
I remember them.
Oh, dude. That's like, memes.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're taking new steps and moving forward with that as well. Because it's good to see like Australian brands. I'd also like to, what do you think of like the Eternal setup? I think that's going to be massive.
Oh, Eternal is...
Like it's already huge.
Yeah. It's not really a close competitor in terms of...
No, I don't even know another competitor.
Yeah. I suppose the three that I would say look the best and I'm like the most invested in would be Eternal, Hex, and Beatdown. Beatdown's a newer one. But yeah, those guys, they're all running it really well. But I'm like... I'm actually emceeing the Eternal event.
What?
Yeah, no, this is what I'm talking about. There's a grand plan at play here.
Cool. So when you say MC, are you're introducing and interviewing the fighters in between?
So I might not be interviewing this time, but I will be introducing the fighters.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll be the man in the middle.
How
of the
does that
cage.
come about?
I pursued it. I pursued it with Cameron O'Neill, the bloke who runs it.
Yep.
CEO. Because I have basically been an Eternal baby since I had one fight on a different promotion, and I've done every other fight with them, or Proving Grounds, which is Robin O'Neill's promotion. That was the one I main evented last time. But I've always been interested in doing that. That is a career that I'm interested in as well. I'm interested in managing fighters, just like that sort of thing, helping them get sponsorships. That's where I was going with that before. That's what I mean. There is a grand plan in place, like, for this career. It's not just fighting. Obviously, now...
you're a calculated individual.
Yeah, right now, I want to be the best fighter. That's the goal. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to set up other avenues whilst I'm doing that, so I don't just finish fighting and go, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah, that's a stuck position for a fighter to be in.
Exactly. But in terms of... What was the question with Eternal? What's the setup like?
Yeah. So the question is where do you think the future of Eternal goes? Because like when I go to that, I think, shit, this is like, there's no reason why that couldn't be 10 times bigger than it is, and it's already massive.
I think because it is a regional thing. Like it stays in Australia. It does go to New Zealand sometimes as well, but it's kind of like the perfect Australian feeder company for the UFC.
Right.
Because that's the relationship they have.
Is it?
Yeah, they've got to deal with UFC Fight Pass and that sort of thing. Like you'll see.
Yeah, I saw Izzy's coach was at your fight.
Yeah, Eugene. Yeah, Eugene will be there often. He corners Benny, my coach as well. He's the promotion itself is kind of set up to create bigger avenues for other MMA athletes. So, for example, do you watch the UFC Contender Series?
No.
Do you know of it?
I
right?
know of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the contender series is like it's just a bunch of fighters go into it, and then the person who comes out on top makes it into the UFCs.
Depending on how they perform.
Okay.
Like if they win, but it's like a boring fight or something like that, sometimes Dana won't take them.
Yep.
But for example, Quinlan Scalide, I think his name was. He was the eternal lightweight champ. Oh no, featherweight or something. I can't remember. But quite good. He just fought on the contender series, had a bit of a war, and he's in the UFC now.
Wow.
It tends to Jack Jenkins. He's probably the best example that is coming to my head. He fought an eternal, became an eternal champion. UFC contender series. It's the avenue to UFC. That's basically what it is. It's probably the best avenue for it, and that's why I'm like, when I go pro, I'll probably do ideally like 3 fights with them, and by that point, I'll be a good enough fighter to get the big dubs, and then I'll probably be looking at UFC contender series, if not straight off to the UFC.
Do you have to fly to America for the contender series?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, flying over there.
Jeez, that's a big risk.
I'll do it.
I love that. I love how he bounces back.
It's all a risk. What are you talking about? But yeah.
So you sit there and you think about that. You think about like flying to America. You think about being in the contender series. You think about like what would happen there. You think about UFC. You think about all of those things.
Yeah, of course. This is, mate. It's go big. Like it's.
Why not?
It's someone who said it. No, Darcy said it to me. Go hard, fail fast. Like throw
fail fast, fail early.
Yeah, like throw everything into this. And that's like I said, if I'd had the second fight and it didn't go my way, and I hadn't been, I didn't have the perfect camp, or I didn't have, not perfect, no, it's never a perfect camp. If I didn't have what I needed to succeed, I still would have been like, oh, well, whatever. That's the end of that. Like, it was a nice dream, but it's not going to happen. I'm not going to go there and get knocked out for fun. I'm not interested in that.
No, it's a very serious thing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Throw yourself into this. Commit yourself to what you want with everything you have, and you'll find out pretty quick if it's not going to happen. Like I'm sure with stand-up comedy, like have you bombed yet? Have you had any when you've been up there and you were just like, whoa, this is not cool. But did you go, oh, I'm going to feel sorry for myself now? Or did you go, oh, I'm going to go home and like make sure that shit is polished, so when I come out, it is like it's snappy and it's good.
100%.
And then if it happens again, you're like, okay. But you're obviously having some success, and you're seeing people laugh, and you're seeing it get better. You know that you can just keep putting in that effort, and you're going to reap the rewards of it.
100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. The last guest I had on, so he's done both comedy and mixed martial arts, and I asked him this question. I said, "What's worse, bombing or getting bashed in front of a bunch of people?" And he said, "Bombing's worse on the stage, telling jokes." But this is what he said. He said that the reason why bombing is better is because you can turn around on that night, go find another open mic, and then kill and redeem yourself. Whereas you get beaten up, you got to wait 8 weeks before you can 3 months until you can actually redeem yourself.
100%. That was, yeah.
You got so much time spent in your head.
Biggest thing after that Jesse fight, I was like,
get me back.
I was like, thank God, because it was already booked. It was already like, they didn't announce it till after, but Benny had sent me a text maybe 3 weeks before the Jesse fight, and he was like, just so you know, this is also happening. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I've got someone else to worry about. But like, they didn't have an opponent. They were different people at the time. I was like, all right, I'm focusing on Jesse. But once that fight was done, I was like, I need to get back.
Did you know you're going to be the main fight?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. They told Benny, main event, Proving Grounds 5. So
how do you know? Like, so have you been the main event before?
No.
Wow.
No. Been the co-main. I was the co-main for that.
Do you think that played a part in your performance there? Like the main event, all eyes on you.
No, because I love that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love that. That's the part of the thing that sort of gets me up for it. Like I love the idea of like, I don't like my best rounds in the gym. Just put me in the cage and get 3 people to watch. Put me in the cage with one other person, 3 people. I will spar them way better than I will on the mats when no one's watching me.
Right.
Like that's typically how it goes. Typically I'll just be like, yep, got eyes on me. I love a bit of pressure.
That's good. It's going to pay off well if there's ever the Contender Series or UFC or something like that, because that's all eyes on you.
Exactly.
And you're thriving off of it.
And that's, I don't know, the main event didn't pay anything. It was just in my head. I was telling myself, like, I was just trying to be something. Like, I in my head, because before the Jesse fight, like, obviously, like I said, wasn't perfect everything on the night. So I was, like, trying to psych myself up. I was like, we're going to get in there and we're going to go, baby. This is going to be it. And then you get in there and just like, I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna do anything that I trained for. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take any risk. I'm just gonna
play it safe.
Like, even the whole plan was initially, just to divulge a little bit, he loves shifting overhands. I probably shouldn't have just run back from every time. The only shots I got hit with were like shifting overhands. I should have just like got in the middle or like shot or something, like stayed on him, like been like, let's meet in the middle, But that's just one of those things. And like in the moment I was like, no, risk. And then avoiding the risk ended up getting me hit. So it was, and then the next one I was like, let's not try to psych ourselves up. Stay cool. Let's stay calm. And then the first 2 rounds were cool and calm and frustrating. I needed to psych myself up. I should have been, well, not even I needed to psych myself up. I just needed to trust myself that I know what to do. Stop trying to control the emotions. Just feel them, be present in them, and then go.
Embracing it.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's one of those things, like, if I don't feel nervous, I just feel like I want to get it over with. Is that good? Is it bad? Like, I don't know. That's the whole thing. I haven't had enough experience yet to fully understand what's going through my head. It's. So yeah, to say the main event, the main event didn't affect it. I love being the main event. When I told it was the main event, I was like, yeah, main event, I'm gonna have my best performance ever. And that was again the frustration in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
being like, I'm the main event. Come on. So yeah, that's to answer that one in a long way.
Yeah. So do you, like, after your fights as well, do you obviously watch tape and go back through the fights? And did you go back through that fight? And how did you feel about it?
Yeah, no, always. It was basically what Darcy and I finished the fight. Well, I finished the fight, and then Darcy and I went back to my house, and we sat there, watched the fight, had some soup, and were like, sick.
I see you posting the soup.
Oh, mate, soup time. But yeah, we were sitting there looking at that and just like, okay, I know he would have been watching the fight and going like, oh, okay, cool. He even said when we watched it, he was like, oh, dude, I thought you got bashed in the first round, but you clearly like didn't get bashed. No. Like, it was pretty competitive. You borderline won it. And I was like, oh, cool. Because it's hard. In between rounds, you don't know what it looks like outside.
No.
I remember the Daniel Mercurio fight. I remember that one. There were several moments in it where he would throw shots and they would all land on my hands and my guard. But because I'm moving backwards, it looks like I'm fleeing from an engagement that I'm losing. I remember in those moments being like, oh, that's going to look like he's winning. And then I'd like try to get in there straight away. And then because I'm overcommitting, he'd like clinch and stuff like that. But yeah, we went back and yeah, Darcy got to watch that. But he immediately told me, oh, this. And I was like, I could already sort of tell. I was like, yeah, need to work on that.
What are your emotions like when you're watching yourself fight back like that?
Probably the same as the fight. All frustration until, like, yeah. I was just sitting there watching it like, can we just like skip to the end?
Yeah.
Like,
it's hard to watch, hey? Well, I've never obviously had a fight, but when I watch my sets back, you just like, there's so many things that I could do better.
It's oftentimes I knew in the fight I can do this better.
Oh,
like I just,
it's so frustrating, right?
It is, and it's this. I guess it's just performance anxiety, maybe.
Yeah.
Like not able to pull the trigger because you don't.
As soon as those lights turn on and you're there and you go, some things just fall out of your mind.
Yeah, exactly that. Like there was several times. I'm not giving anything away to my other opponents, so I'm not letting you know what I know. If you're smart,
Secrets.
you'll see. If you're smart, you can see. But I'm gonna fix all of it. certain things that I look at and I'm like, I've drilled that fucking 20,000 times. Why did you do it like that? That's the reason you've been drilling it, is because you know you've done it like that before. And you watch it and you're like, oh, just pull it together. That's one big thing. But always go back, look at what needs correcting, and then try to like figure out what'll make it easier to fix that.
Right.
Never like try to cut the corner, but like if there's something with my physiology that's limiting me from doing something well.
Right. So say what, like strength or...
Yeah. Say, okay, well, obviously it's not a strength thing now. You can watch, it's not. But you see him pushing me up against the cage in the clinch in the first and second. I know what to do to get out of there.
I could see that.
I'm not weak.
No.
Probably don't need to look at that. It's just like you should have just done it. Because you did it in the third. Like you got off him. Like you got him off you. Stop being so complacent. But say that was a thing, and it was strength. I didn't have the strength to dig an underhook correctly. It's like, okay, well, let's figure out what exercises will do that, or do we just need to drill that 1,000 times until that, your front delt is strong enough to take the load or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what we do, and then obviously get into the specific technique stuff.
Yeah. So you like, this is a full-time gig right now?
Yeah.
No working, just training?
Well, no, I do work. I work for my gym.
Oh, you work at your gym?
The Fight Center.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you were working sales at Good Life, and how did you transition across to doing mixed martial arts full-time?
So, big thank you to Ben Johnston and James Jarvie, the owners and, the founders of TFC, the Fight Center, Brisbane. I was working Good Life Robina sales, and then something happened in my personal life where I needed to cut down on my hours, and I started working at Good Life Bundle, doing reception there. Mm-hmm. And then it just got to the point where I was like, this is taking up too much time of my life, because I was training at CMBT, but I'm not going to air dirty laundry, had a bit of a disagreement with the way things were being done there. Went to TFC, which I had already flirted the idea with because I love TFC. It's just the fact that it's a drive to Logan. Went there, had been training with them, and I'd have to miss an hour of training every morning because I was working till 10 and the session starts at 10. So I'm leaving from Bundle, driving to TFC. I get there at 11. I've just missed the first hour of training and I've only got 3 left. And an hour in the grand, again, compound interest.
Every week.
Just every week. Losing 4 hours. It's too much, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm big on skill progression. I want to just keep getting better. And if I'm missing an hour every week, I'm probably not doing the best I can for myself. If the opportunity is there, take the opportunity. So I asked Ben and Jarvie, I was like, guys, I have an idea. Can I work for you guys? I want to do social media for you guys. I want to do, YouTube creation, stuff like that. Ended up in that role for a bit, did the YouTube and stuff, but then they were kind of like, oh, we probably don't need that. Let's just keep you on social media and that sort of thing. But so basically I go to the gym, I train from 10 till 2 with them, those guys. Then I start work. I do social media stuff and like video editing for an hour and a half. Then I teach a kids class, either Muay Thai or boxing.
Which is still a skill progression as well.
Yeah, well, it is. It is learning to deal with little people, especially.
You're still teaching the thing that mixed martial arts. So.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things that like anytime someone is willing to give me valuable information, I'm so just like, yes, please, thank you so much, and I just like have such respect and like gratitude to that person. Kids don't understand what respect and gratitude is, and then they're like 6 and 7. They're like, watch me, I can do a handstand. And you're like, they can't do a handstand. And you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to tell you how to throw the perfect leg kick. And they're like, don't even know how to stand. And you're like, listen to me. But I've got it now. It's, you got to be
patience.
Yeah. You got to be more playful and happy and kind. And that is a skill that I'm learning in time. And I'm very happy about that as well.
Right. So you transferred across from Good Life to working out of your gym, and that's what you do right now.
Correct.
And then also the sponsorship as well helps you get by each week?
From Bailey?
Yeah, or just in general, you have other
I
sponsors?
have sponsors, Gemelli Italian, Cage Kit. They help me with like apparel.
Gemelli
and stuff.
Italian?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You ever had it?
Yeah, it's good.
Dude, best Italian in Australia, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met the owner at Good Life Bundle as a receptionist.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, Alex a mad dog.
So he follows all your fights and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
I don't think he's ever been to one, but he's always like sending me messages like, "Congrats, dude. It's
Nice.
sick." Like, he's a great dude. And I love their restaurant.
Great restaurant.
Nick and my partner and I have been there for years before I met him.
Oh,
It was-
really?
It was always our go-to.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I've got a butcher sponsor, Cage Kit for apparel. Fight HQ looks after me for my training gear, like my shin guards and gloves and stuff like that. Chempro Renaissance, Mark Wu, he's the owner. He looks after
Wow.
me there. He like it's not a crazy sponsorship, but like when if I get staph or something, he gives me like cost price
Right.
antibiotics and
Yeah,
stuff like
staff
that.
is hectic, hey?
Yeah, yeah,
It's not fun.
not fun at all.
No.
Speaking to someone who's had a lot of experience with it, so yeah.
I had it on my arm, bro, and it literally turned into like a mountain of just pus coming out. It still killed all the hairs there as well. I didn't know what it was.
It leaves a bit of a scar, eh?
Yeah.
Bro, my legs. That's why we're trackies. Covered in them.
Yeah. I got that defense soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
tried.
Do
Mate,
you find it helps?
I don't know, but I'm just trying to do everything because after I got that, bro, it like my whole arm swelled up. I didn't know what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And then I figured out it's fucking staph.
Okay. So it got to the point where it was like,
Really bad. And dude, I've seen photos of people who like nearly have their whole legs amputated from it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, I don't know what this is. And I was just being very casual about it. And I went to the doctor and she was like, she drew around it. She's like, if it gets past there,
yeah.
you got to go to the emergency.
Yeah.
Bro, I went to the emergency and there was like 20 people in front of me and I'm just sitting there like, fuck this. So I went home, I put some gloves on, I got all the shit out of it. Fuck, it hurt so much. And then, just antibiotics and it slowly but surely went away. But it looks like it sort of starts to eat into your muscle tissue if you leave it too long as well.
Bro, something that does help. This is like a shameless plug for my gym. Jarvi and Ben they brought out this probiotic. I think it's called Ground Defense or something.
Okay, yeah.
Bro, since I started taking that, like
Nothing.
I'm someone who got a lot of staph.
Right.
Since I'd been taking that, and they've also got some honey, I think. I don't know if they can sell the honey yet, but they've discovered some honey. But the probiotics, if you take that, it touch wood, I've been pretty clean.
Fuck yeah.
No ringworm,
It's
no
a big
staph.
thing for you as well because that'll put you out of training for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only time off I really get is if I'm injured or I've got staph because it's just...
Have you had many injuries?
Before the Jesse fight, I tore my PCL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's PCL?
It's the connector between like
Oh,
your
yeah.
hamstring and your calf. Like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I tore that like minorly,
Right.
but that was So I couldn't really grapple at all in the lead up to that one.
Oh, God, man. It's a crazy sport you do because it's dependent on your body. That's the thing about comedy is that you can do it no matter what. The only thing you got to keep intact is your mental health.
Yeah, no, yeah, and it's so easy.
Oh, jiu-jitsu. Oh, man. Scares the shit out of me. I'm like, don't bend my arm back that far,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
Nah, because that's exactly it. It's the fear of like I don't know if you strike me as someone who's pretty disciplined. If you don't get to train,
Life's over.
yeah, it's just like oh, dude, I've just lost the foundation of what keeps me healthy and happy.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna eat shit now. I'm gonna sleep later. Like productivity is just gonna go down. Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes talk to people and they're like, they want to start the gym or they want to do this. I'm like, I can't understand how people don't go. Like, it would be way harder for me to not go. If you said, all right, take 2 weeks off the gym or any form of training, I'd be like, just fucking torture me. Like, that's terrible. Okay, the mental health, everything.
No, 100%. I've literally had the conversation with, like, With Darcy, he'll always be like, because he knows what I'm like, because he's very much the same.
Yeah, you'd be the type of.
I'm gonna keep training, dude.
Yeah, you need. I've read this book of Michael Jordan's coach, and his biggest challenge with Michael Jordan was keeping him out of training. He would literally do tricks to stop him from training. Same with Kobe, I think it was, and he would put in his diet to have 1 glass of red wine each week.
Yeah.
Which is, there's no health benefits, but he wanted him to sit still and drink the wine.
Yeah.
How random is that?
But this is exactly like I said, today I'm missing training today because I wanted to have this conversation. I was very keen. I'm not at all saying I'm missing training. I'm saying like, I told my coach like, I'm not going to be there today because I'm doing this. But that didn't stop me from training.
No.
This is the time I'd be training. I was like, all right, we're just gonna have to get up earlier, do your half marathon, like do whatever you need to do to keep yourself mentally fit. And like I did a bunch of striking drills, and then I hit pads with Darcy. He like came and made the effort for me.
Do you ever hit moments of fatigue?
Like, do I get tired, or like are you talking about like burnt out?
Yeah, burnt out. Is there ever points where you're like, I don't feel like I can get through this session today?
It's definitely time. I don't really know. Not like I can't get through the session.
It seems like you're the type of athlete that's like someone needs to like, hey, slow down a little bit.
Between my partner Nicola and Darcy, it's they'll be the ones that are like, what are you I went to Tasmania with Nick, and I was like sick as. This is directly after the Jesse fight. Went there for a week. I was sick as. I got so crook, and I was still training. It just got to the point where like I just couldn't sleep anymore because I was so sick. My head was throbbing, and she was like, "You cannot be serious." And I was like, "If I get like at least 4 hours sleep tonight, I'm still gonna go to the gym." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And then she was like, "You're literally a crazy person." And I was like, "You're probably right." And but it took that much like pain and suffering, and then
to get you to lay down,
and then having someone else be like, for what you can't do any specific skill training right now, like it's for the fight that's coming up, it's pointless.
Sit still,
you're doing nothing. It's not like you're gonna get unfit from 3 days off. In my head I'm like, oh, dude, that's just like 4 steps backwards though, right? So that in terms of am I not going to get through the session? Nah. I think I've had one moment so far in the past few years where I was like, I might fake being sick to get out of this. And that was a fight simulator we did at TFC. It was the first one I did there before I had the Daniel Mercurio fight, which is like 3 fights ago. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were doing it, and it started, and I'd never done anything like it before. In this realm, it was a very like hard grappling situation, and I didn't eat the biggest brekkie. I didn't realize I was doing one. I just started doing it. I was like, the first 30 seconds, I was like, dude, I might just pretend I'm sick and these guys won't judge me and they'll just like let me stop. And I was like, this is exactly why you need to be doing this. And I just did the whole thing.
You got a little David Goggins voice going on.
Yeah. It's like, this sucks. That's why we're here. So yeah, in terms of getting through a session, I'm never like, I'm going to like not going to be able to get through a session. I'll just be like, this is going to be a hard one. We're just going to get through this and reassess after.
Do you have structured rest days? Nah, never.
No, look. Not until recently. Not until recently. I'm trying my absolute hardest now to try and take Sundays off. Try and do nothing. Literally nothing.
Doing nothing's an art in itself.
Yeah. God.
It's very hard.
It's... Bro, so many
thoughts,
so many voices are going on in my head. It's like, should I just like, dude, I don't know, man. It's like, you're stopping your progression, but you feel good.
Yeah.
But this last Sunday was one of the first Sundays I've taken off in months. Like,
wow.
Like I don't take days off, and that's like a
you
big
definitely
thing.
should, man.
I know.
You definitely should.
Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why. I feel fantastic. I had one of the best sessions yesterday.
I wish I felt like that all the time, but it's a curse as well. Yeah.
I had one of the best sessions yesterday, and I felt amazing today. Like, The run was cruisy and then I went straight into hitting pads, and it was still explosive and felt good. Like,
do you feel like you have a natural ability for this? Or is it's like I hate using that word because you obviously put in so much hard work, but it seems like your body just is built to do mixed martial arts in a way.
I think my body is built for endurance. I feel like, well, not only like, I feel like I've obviously put a lot of effort into it. Like, being fit before I started fighting, I was like, I will never lose a fight because I'm tired.
Yeah.
No one will ever beat me because I didn't work hard
It's
enough.
going to be so painful for your opponents.
Oh, that's the plan.
Mate, that's going to be like, because you just, if you feel tired and the other person doesn't, it's a completely different ballgame.
100%. I knew at the end of the second round with old mate, I was like, you're exhausted.
Yeah, we got to get you into 5-minute rounds.
Yeah, exactly. Even Jesse in the second round, I was like, that was even more frustrating. I was like, I can see how tired you are. You're not going to be able to hit me hard enough, dude. I can run at you. But yeah, it's just that, again, going back to the getting over the hump. But natural ability. I feel like genetics plays a big part.
Yeah.
Like, my dad was a gymnast for a long time when he was younger. So I imagine that's probably
Passed on, maybe.
Yeah, like, I'm not like the most flexible person or anything like that, but
Do you do a lot of stretch work?
not as much as I used to. I do more sort of like mobility stuff, which is like strength through range of motion.
Yep.
Big advocate for knees over toes.
Mm-hmm.
That whole program. Just putting yourself in compromised positions and making them strong.
Right.
Like, you know how like a pec fly, like you stop here, just put yourself in the position where it's like completely back, like the chest is like, you could tear your pec.
Yep.
Like, sit there for a little bit and like create a little bit of resistance.
Yep.
And then build up, that sort of thing. I know, like I said,
Creating range of motion.
Yeah, I've hardly been injured. So
That's good.
I really haven't been injured except for the torn PCL.
Yeah, your stretching with that's probably definitely played a big part in that.
Yeah, exactly. You become strong everywhere, so that like, yeah, it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if I had the strength to just like, you know what a Kimura feels like, and I'm sure you're just like, fuck, dude, if I had more flexible,
I know.
shoulders are more flexible.
I hate trying to get someone who's super flexible with that. It just feels like you're bending their arm all the way back and nothing's happening. Yeah, exactly. Whereas me, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, literally like, oh no. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. It's like not even at the point where it should be hurting. It's like, no, thank you.
It's like, no, my shoulders are just tight.
Yeah,
literally.
Exactly. It's like a massage.
Yeah. Cool, man. Look, we're at 1 hour 42. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to plug?
Anything I want to add? Anything I want to plug? Look, it's been sick having a chat to you.
That's cool, man.
I will say that.
It flowed. It went so fast, dude.
Yeah, I've very much enjoyed it. I hope you had me here. I hope you enjoyed having me here.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
If I plug anyone, like, obviously I've said Bailey, like,
yeah.
BW Air, Home DIY,
The
kits, the boys, Gemelli Italian, CV Beef in Narang, TFC, the Fight Centre, Logan, #1, Ben Johnston. That's basically it. Cage Kit, Musashi, and Fight HQ, and Campro Renaissance. Those are my guys. They look after me. They make life easier. So, yeah.
It's cool, man. It's good that we got to talk about them as well because they're obviously supporting your journey. And, man, myself, bro, I'm going to keep following. I'm super excited for your next fight. I'm 100% going to be there. And I definitely like to do this again in a couple fights' time. I can't wait to watch your progression. I think that what you said in that post-fight interview, I feel like well and truly. Like, I feel like you definitely have something. Everything you say, it completely replicates in the cage there. I think you're going to do really well at this, bro. And, yeah. Thanks for having the conversation.
Appreciate it, brother. It's been mad.
You. Alrighty,